Hello and welcome back to Indie Gamer. Today I'm in close to Lyon. I'm having a couple of day trips by bike, going on to Grenoble's Great Pride during the weekend. So that's going to be interesting and cute. Today I'm going to be playing the Amaranth. So this is the audio as usual in the background. Now you should see the game with a beautiful red flower. I like the audio, it's really cool. The music is really nice so far. Okay, so let's get started. As usual, it's part of the Vampire the Masquerade game jam from last year. It's pretty cool. I like all those games. The only criticism I have about all those games is that it's always the same gameplay. Well, it's narrative, so it's fair enough that it's just dialogue choices and all that, but it's the same layout, the same template. At the bottom you have back, history, skip, blah blah blah. I don't know if they were given that, if that was the way the publisher kind of asked them to do their games, but it's always just narrative games with the same layout, the same, dialogue choices in the middle, the same UI, etc. So that's the only thing that I'm like, okay, got it. It's cool, so you can tell your story, you build up your visuals and all that, and your characters. But I would have liked to see more diversity in the gameplay or in the UI, something to make it a bit more different. I like to discover the stories, but I would like a different game feel. Okay, so now that is said, let's go and read a page, because reading is what? Fundamental. I am a caitiff. I don't know where it's taking place. It seems to be maybe European, based on the... Maybe not, I don't know. Let's figure it out on the way. With just one image, it's a bit odd. I can't even see in what language it is written. I am a caitiff, and I have never understood the romanticism of rain. People like to say that the world is cleaner afterward. Afterward, that's supposed to be an A. That it glistens with promise and renewal. I like to say that's idiotic. The world after rain is just wet, and a wet world is a miserable place to hide in. That is very true. I definitely have felt that. I thought California was supposed to be in a drought, but I guess drowning in a shallow, oily puddle is a kinder fate than whatever the Camarilla has in store for me. Damn the Camarilla, damn this stupid masquerade. I can't help but think that I wouldn't be here if those in power cared announce about those like me. Yes, that is very true. The ones with no place in life, those with no chance to change the cards. I dug deeper into the shadows of the waterlogged alley as a human trudges by. They slam under the weight of the umbrella. I can hear their furious little heartbeat. I haven't had a drink in how long has it been? Let's drink. We need to quench the thirst. My heavy tongue squirms within my mouth as I envision hot lives staining my fangs. I advance. I wouldn't dare. There are 6 other humans on the street, all within shouting distance. Did you not see them? A reckless little move by a dirty little caitiff. My body moves on its own. With the bite I intended for the human, I swing around and snap at the voice behind me. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, so feisty. Be at ease, little monster. This humble toreador is not here to harm you. Interesting. So, it's a background of photograph with some drawings put on top. I like the mixed medium. It's a good way to create your own vibe and universe in a way. For a second, I am surprised I didn't hear him coming up behind me, but then I take on his elongated canines and his translucent skin, and I know what he is. Do I look stupid? Not at all. In fact, you seem quite sharp, perhaps a little too sharp. I imagine that's what landed you in this mess with the Kamaila to begin with. The target of a blood hunt? Oof, I don't suppose you've had anywhere nice to stay since the order of execution. And I like the facial expression, that's pretty cute. The blonde vampire dances around me, doesn't even flinch when I growl. He steps out onto the street and spares a look over his shoulder. In the crystal reflection of the streetlights against wet pavement, he looks every bit like a destroying angel. I feel like Mr. Frazee. I'm struggling a bit to read today. It's only in the morning. I'm only going through my second coffee, so bear with me. Well, are you coming, pet? What? Excuse me? Why would I go anywhere with you? Because not only are you being hunted like some poor rabbit street and I never said I'll have to wait, because I've been setting up some stuff, so when I want to kind of step out of the full screen when I actually say something about the game, so you can see my face and blah blah blah, but also to kind of, when it's a comment, not reading the game itself and like having a kind of a party. I want it to be different, so it doesn't feel like you're still in the game so much. And so yeah, like some poor rabbit street hound. I never know how to say hound. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, and looking every bit the part, but you're also thirsty. I can say that. I don't know who wrote this, but I feel like I'm not so...
Self-voicing enabled, the Toreador, because not only are you being hunted like some poor rabid street hound and looking every bit the part, but you're also thirsty. I can say that.
I didn't know there was a self-voicing thingy. Press V to disable. So, see? Like, I'm discovering stuff. I've been putting some shortcuts on Streamlabs, whatever, to actually be able to switch from one scene to the other, and I'm discovering at the same time that there's a self-voicing enabled. Anyway, let's disable that.
Self-voicing disabled.
Thank you. And okay, yeah, I don't know who wrote that, but I feel like the vocabulary that he uses is not what I've been used to. Like when I was in Australia, it's definitely a different lingo in a way. So if the game is taking place in California, I guess it's an American, so maybe that's why. Okay, so let's move on. And now I've discovered the self-voicing feature, but I wanna read. Okay. The moment he mentioned my thirst again, I know nothing else. Dry, parched, every breath feels like a rock, every word a razor blade. Think of it this way. All you've really done so far is delay the inevitable, and in a most miserable fashion, you could be doomed coming with me, but you're certainly doomed if you don't. It It's crazy, but is not entirely wrong. Do I know you? How do I know you want to hurt me? You are not thirsty. Excellent. With no other real options, I cling tight to his profile, falling into step with his lips. Shadow seems natural, like a dance I've known since birth. I try not to think about it too much. Oh, okay, so the previous one was a photo and this one... The previous one was a photo, but this one seems to be a piece that the artist put together. So that's pretty cute. I keep my head down and away from the busy street as cars zoom by, spurring up mists of filth and water. Out of the corner of my eyes, I take note of my guide's swagger, his confident posture. What is it like to not fear anything? What is it like to not be ignored or abused or hated by your people, your kindred? Maybe he knows. The toreador's light footstep halted suddenly and I nearly bumped into him. I look around. We're standing in front of a massive building that reminds me of an art museum. Oh, you're still here. How persistent of you. Before I can reply, another voice booms behind me. I told you I would be right here, didn't I? Were it not for the sheer power in this new voice, I would not have been shocked out of my thoughts. It is throaty, forceful, resounding deep within their chest. However, when I look up from my feet... Ooh, hey girl. Again girl, I believe. I can't help but gape. She is a lot shorter than I expected. She kind of reminds me of a boar, close to the ground, ready for a fight. Miss Bruja. Oh, a Bruja. Please, surely you have other socialites to needlessly harass on this fine night. Save it. People need answers. Or are you so much better than the rest of us, even if we all come from the same place? Her rage is righteous, but I want to avoid it at all costs. Yet her eyes find me all the same. Is this your idea of charity, grooming an unfortunate canine you picked up off the street? If she knew what I was, she wouldn't act like she cares. Hey you, what's your name? What did he tell you? Before I can say anything, the toreador delicately sidestep in front of me and creates a barricade between us. Thank you for the show, Penny, but it's time you run along now. You wouldn't like some of my friends to come and escort you off the premises, now would you? Typical toreador, always running away. She shoves her phones into her shorts pocket before racing away like a bat out of hell. Man, that kid can book it. The toreador has something between amusement and fatigue. He doesn't ask me if I'm okay. It doesn't even check to make sure I'm there. It just slips through the gates and proceeds up the walkway. As I follow, I realize that the art museum we were standing in front of this whole time is no art museum at all. Man, what a house. Welcome to my humble home, little caitiff. What's mine is yours if you ask nicely. Stay right there where you are, dear. You're absolutely soaked through. Wait a moment and I'll fetch a towel for you to dry off. But you're soaked too. Stay right where you are, I won't be long. Oh, he said it twice. Must mean he's serious about this. I'm gonna go and investigate a bit, just looking around. I don't know anything about this guy. I might as well gather some info on him in the meantime. For some artsy-fartsy toreador, his place is surprisingly tasteful. I was half expecting a couple of gold statues in his naked image. The only thing that interests me is the dark brown shelf by the window, displaying elegant bottles of wine. He's a collector from the look of it. Could that be old blood? I reach out tentatively, fingers quacking as I graze the beveled lettering of a bottle in an ivory sleeve. I see you don't take orders very well. Spare a little decency, pet. I'm harboring you at risk of myself. With a sudden smile, the toreador thrusts an ebony towel into my hand. I press it to my eyes, astounded more by his sudden switch in mood than the towel's ethereal softness. You are welcome, by the way. A curtain-raping sound at the door. I dive behind the sofa, which amuses the toreador so much that he laughs. Instead of letting the visitor in, he reclines on the sofa, and with a turn of keys, the door swings open. Oh, darling, so you are home. Why have you not answered your phone? Are you ignoring me? Oh, she's a lady. Of course I've been ignoring you. You've become dreadfully intense lately, and I haven't the temperament for such things. And I do not have the temperament for irresponsible slackers who don't take things seriously. Oh, you are Van through and through. A Van through, she definitely looks the part. Darling, you're soaking wet. Did you just come in? Indeed I did. It was so lovely out. I thought I told you to stay inside. It was only a walk, darling. You don't understand how the walls begin to cave in on me. It is not just a walk, darling. It is recklessness. After everything I've done for you, this is how you've shown your appreciation. Don't be silly. I can't help but be silly. You know how much I appreciate you. Then, what is this? She gestures to me without sparing a glance, but the venom in her voice betrays a disgust. I can explain that. Is this really the time to go collecting things? You have no idea what you're getting into. How can you harbor some caitiff with a bloodhound target on its back? Well, why not? Are you suddenly stupid? Is this some kind of valiant last act of a dying man? The Ventru casts a glance to her left. On a shelf I haven't noticed before, a delicate glass vase holds a strange red flower that drops so low over the lips as if it is trying to escape. I apologize. I am doing all that I can. So, you're going to the Marcavian? Of course. But the visit could be pointless, you know how he is. But he knew for 7 years before that blasted flowers showed up on my doorstep. Down to the time I would find it. I know, I still have the letter, but there is no time to waste on dead ends. Kadif, what is your name? What would you like to be called? Dylan, how familiar are you with the practice of diablerie? I am aware of it. Oh, I see. I suppose that saves me the hassle of unnecessary explanation. Well, in no pretty words, diablerie, it's a French word. It's a French word, and it's kind of always weird to say it with an English accent. Diablerie. I try to say like diablerie, but it doesn't work, so I'm always like fucking my tongue at it. Diablerie is the despicable act of kindred devouring kindred. A truly awful thing resulting in final death for the victim after consumption of their soul. There are a few different names for this occurrence, such as the amaranth, with the givers being an amaranth in their own right. And that, the toreador gestures to the strange flower, is an amaranth. According to various myths and legends, this flower serves as a warning that the victim has only 7 nights, left before their soul is stripped away from them. It's quite a romantic way to go out, I suppose. So that flower, it is its death sentence. I received it 5 nights ago. Kindred feasting on kindred. It just sounds so archaic. Who would do such a thing? There's a typo there. And this is why I say you must stay inside while I investigate more into the matter. That is the point. I am doomed. There is nothing anyone can do for me. Not even... Oh? Dylan, you must help me find the amaranth. What? You're a savage little beast, aren't you? It's what put you in the Camilla's ill graces to begin with. I know my sweet Dylan would never eat another kindred, but your miserable perspective is the very edge I need to unveil the amaranth before my eternal demise. Darling, take a moment to think about this. I have everything under control. The toreador grasps my hand like I'm his lifeline. My pet, gentle muse of my salvation, please say you will help me. Why should I help you, or even care if you meet your final death? Why, you insolent little... I figured you would feel this way, but have you figured that by making nice with me, I can fix everything wrong with your pathetic existence? Well, it's true. I have connections, or have you forgotten? With but one request, I can get that blood ants of yours called off. Isn't that right, darling? And perhaps we can even find your missing clan. Darling, you can't promise that. And yet I am. Don't you see, disregarding social status, we are one in the same, doomed kindred, with no other choice but to depend on each other's. Consider this sweet news. Truly consider it. I am. It's crazy and it's stupid, but I am. Let's get real here. I've been on the run for way too long. If the Camilla dogs don't get me, I'll just run out of steam. I'm already out of steam. All I have left is the illusion of choice. I guess it's a fair deal. I accept. I've got nothing left to lose. That's my smart little muse. I knew you would see things my way, and this is simply splendid. I say this calls for a toast. I must be going. I'll make sure to pay the Malkavian a visit. Wonderful, darling. It means the world to me that you are taking time out of your own busy schedule to help me in dire need. He says this, but he's already turned his full attention to the display of luxury blood. He doesn't even spare her a glance. I'll call again soon, but pick up this time, please. The Ventru exit with her chin high and back straight. When she's gone, it's almost like she was never there. She leaves no evidence of her presence. Allow me to step into the kitchen, won't you? I have these lovely glasses that suits the occasion perfectly. Wait here, Pete. And I do stress that you wait. Hey, don't call me that. What have I gotten myself into? If a Ventru with serious connections can't solve a case like this, what is some caitiff like me going to do? But I don't really have a choice here. The worst case scenario is death all around, so why don't I just try to challenge fate a little? It's always valuable to challenge fate a little, I guess. Being a pet with dogs coming after them is not really sustainable. Don't go the easy way. You know, it's not worth it. Wonderful, you're still here. I half expected you to run off in the excitement of it all. There you are, dear. The glass is ornate, sparkling, but it is the blood it holds that makes the sight truly beautiful. I grasp it with both tremoring hands. I'd drop it if I didn't. Hey, you're bleeding. No, I'm not. Yes, you are, across your wrist. Oh, clumsy me. It must have happened when Jimmy the bottle opened. The top was broken, you see. Think nothing of it. I'm struggling, like, my fucking English is getting worse. Like, I don't speak it so often anymore, so I'm really struggling to get back into it when I do my videos. Anyway, it's kind of what I feel like when I was losing my French when I was in Australia after nearly 10 years. I was like, fuck, I'm losing my mother tongue. But then when I came back, when I left Australia and came back to Montreal and France, now I'm like kind of fearing that I'm losing my English. So anyway, the dog is licking me. Anyway, don't go drinking just yet. What are we toasting to, dear? Is this a trick? I feel like he's giving me some of his blood, so there's a blood bound. Anyway, if I have the choice, I would probably, I don't know, it's kind of weird. What are we toasting to, dear? Let's toast to the truth. Oh, how romantic. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't help it. The truth. To the truth, my pet. With a clink of glass, we tip it back. I can't afford to let a drop go to waste. Warm. Oh, it's so warm. And sharp. It burns going down. My throat. More, I need more. So warm, so sharp, so sweet. He's so sweet. Pain seals somewhere deep inside my hand. It's like a fundamental part of me is being scrubbed away. Oh dear, are you alright? I'm like an open nerve, like a gas leak one spark away from exploding. And I have to help him. I want to help him. Fuck, it is probably a bloodbound. Goodness dear, that was a terrible sight to see. I suppose you didn't take to the blood well. Perhaps you are a ventru with a sensitive palate. Maybe. I've never had problems drinking any blood I wanted before. Just an idea, honey. How do you feel? I feel like I should get going. I've got work to do. Well, don't let me stop you. I am certain the ventru will know what to do. She's quite efficient with these things. If I know her, that darling is never far away. Now, ta-ta. Go on now. The toreador slams the door shut behind me. I can't turn back now. And I'm either going insane or the ventru is waiting right here out in the hall. I thought she left. When she sees me, she seizes up. She probably didn't expect me, but her facial expression doesn't shift. You startled me, Katif. I only come to offer some guidance, since the toreador obviously trusts you with this situation. Like what? She hands me a strip of paper, no longer than a manicured index finger. I did try to pay the Malkavian a visit, as promised, and like always, is what you would call stubborn. He told me he didn't feel like it, but if you would like to try, this is the address. He's a prophetic but a recluse, and terribly fond of speaking in riddles. Great. So, he's good but confusing? Good as in skilled? Of course, but few have enlightening experience with him. You might just have to try to catch him in a good mood. A good mood? Anyway, it might be a dead end, but I wish you the best of luck. Since this is an investigation, I might as well ask her some question, or I could let her go. I'm gonna interrogate her. May I ask a few questions? I suppose. What would you like to know? Too many questions. I feel like it's been a while already, so I might just leave it at that for now. It's a good setup. I really like the style. I like the drawings. They're kind of cute. I'm in the shadow. I'm in the shadows. Cute drawings. Cool setup. I like the idea of the amaranth and the investigation. It really puts you right into it. And I like the connections, the Ventrue, the Toreador, and the Malkavian so far. That makes for a good. Is it better this way? No, not really. Makes for a good story to tell. So I guess I'll leave it at that for now. I like the music as well. It's a really good mood. I'm really picked up by the story. But yeah, it's getting cold and I need to go get ready for the day. So once again, thanks to my patrons for supporting me in this fucking crazy project, for the game that I'm building and everything, and for doing those videos. So if you want to support me, feel free. You never know. I'm still figuring out what to do with the patrons perks. I have some ideas, but I'm struggling to make it happen because I don't feel it's worth doing for you guys. It's a weird fucking shadows. And sorry for the noise, there's work being done on the side. Is this better? Yeah, it's a bit better. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching the video about the amaranth. I'll put the links in the description. And on this note, I will move on and see you later. Have a nice day. Putain, this sun is kind of being annoying. Bye.